In fact, if you ask me, I want to concur with Patrick. Democracy is now a test. It is thriving. Long are the days that you remember the Matiba days when was it for a seat or something was in Nairobi? Anybody could be elected as long as you are in that particular party. We were 2013, 2017, we still had the same disease. Yati kama unauza suti, and you will get it as long as you are in Mount Kenya and you are in Jubilee, you get elected. Democracy gives us an opportunity whereby we will now be electing faces. You will elect Warutere because Warutere ameuza sela at whatever level. You will elect Warutere because Warutere has been consistent, has been his policies, he's been able to sell his policies to the people. He has worked as an individual, and in fact, you will be. I see many independent candidates even coming in 2022 to get elected, because it will not be about parties per se. It will be about people, and I think it is a good life lesson for democracy to be enriched, whereby we will not talk about a particular legion voting particular people, because by default or even by design, then you get long people get elected. Let us sell policies and let us be elected for what we are, what we represent, what we've done to people. I have been elected for the last 10 years because people of Roysambu felt like probably I've worked well. I have been able to basically gang up with the right people and also network with the right people and get the food to their table. And when that happens, trust you me, then democracy will give us quality people. That brings now probably to the next issue. I don't know whether we'll be coming to the issue of the degree as it's coming out, because in quality we'll need to get the right people.
Absolutely.
And I can tell you, I have been supporting that the thought that we need elected people who have a knowledge, who are knowledgeable. Many would say it's not about probably the academic papers, but then the quality of debate improves at that level.
It's very
and in the same in the same way, when the democracy is nurtured well, trust you me, we will have a time whereby Patrick goes as a person, and because he has nurtured his way, and he has probably talked to his people in the best way, then he gets elected as Patrick. Not because he belongs to ODM party. Gone are the days that are probably the kind of days where everybody else would be elected because they're in the chama ya baba na mama. We want to be in that particular situation whereby you are elected for what you are.
Absolutely.
Yes.
As we come to the tail end of this discussion, let's talk about the issue of Wiper. Parties now, the National Executive Committee is meeting this particular morning at 10 a.m. They have got that circular that they're going to discuss whether Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka is going to pull out of NASA coalition or not. So the question I have for you gentlemen is, starting with you, Patrick, what do you think is going to be the real deal for Kalonzo Musyoka? If at all he's going to pull out or not?
Victor, Kalonzo Musyoka is still a force to reckon in Kamba politics. And Wiper Party is one of the strongest parties in the NASA coalition per se. So if he pulls out of NASA, I want to tell you that he should not be ignored. He should not be ignored. It may not be easy for him. Of course, I know he's a sharp guy. He's still looking around to see who else can he team up with in order to make it, because all along he has been saying he's been supporting the ODM candidature for presidency for quite some time, and it is time for him now to roll. So if Wiper pulls out of NASA and Kalonzo has that ambition per se of becoming the president of this country, then he needs to look around and find other formidable people whom he can form alliance with to be able to ascend to power. So pulling out will have an effect from NASA, because that means he's severing the relationship he has had with the rest of the other parties that have been in NASA. So he needs actually to go out full throttle and find other people whom he can be able to work with.
All right. Peter?
If you ask me, Kalonzo Musyoka as a junior partner in NASA coalition, my thoughts will be that maybe the timing might be long. Because I have said, and I will still continue saying that if we don't work together, then we will be hanged separately, individually, come 2022. I know for sure that Kalonzo Musyoka feels like, having supported Raila Odinga for 2 consecutive terms, the time is right maybe for him to be supported by Raila Odinga. If you ask me, the right thing to do would be probably for them to go back, and the kitchen is not really like halt. They need to go back to the negotiating table, let them sit down, agree on the way forward, because I've said 2022 elections will not be won by individual parties. There's no way like Kalonzo Musyoka can win alone. There's no way like Raila Odinga will win alone. And even William Ruto knows, like even in UDA, he cannot win as a person. So the game of 2022 will be won by coalitions, and I think time has come for people to really sit down, take stock, and get the best candidate to be the face of that particular coalition. And it is only then that Kalonzo Musyoka and the Wiper Party will be able to realize his dream of becoming probably the next president if God allows in 2022.
And on that note, can we take a break? Then when we come back, we are going to discuss more after this on the other side of the break. We'll be right back.
Thank you. Kalonzo anache kujidanganya. Kwende huko.
Welcome back. Still joined by Peter Warutere, MCA Roysambu Ward, and Patrick Akhwale of Wemalabi Ward in Vihiga County. Gentlemen, we are talking about the issue here at hand, and we're talking about the Kalonzo Musyoka factor, and you're saying that Kalonzo Musyoka is still a force to reckon with. Either way, he will have to work slightly extra hard for him to stay afloat. Now, if he happens to leave the NASA coalition, Patrick, how is it going to be that the coalition is going to stay afloat until the next general election? And we have got the Kamba votes, which we can also not ignore. You know, the politicians cannot ignore in terms of the numbers of voters from the Ukambani region. How is Kalonzo Musyoka exiting party, NASA coalition, or if it stays, what effect is this going to have on the other remaining partners in the NASA coalition?
Like I said from the beginning,
yes,
Kalonzo is not to be ignored. He's a force to reckon. And if he happens to quit NASA coalition, which to me, NASA per se is not very stable.
Yeah.
I will expect him to look around other parties who have the same ideologies like his, and be able to team up with them in order to ascend to power. If he remains in NASA, that is if NASA ever survives, then I think the best he can do is still to negotiate properly and be able to put up his ambitions to the rest of the NASA principals, and tell them that I think, in as far as seniority is concerned, I stand to be the next person to lead NASA coalition. So when it comes to votes, Kamba votes are many. And anybody who wants to lead this country must also be interested in luring the Kamba votes to his side. So it is very important that the coalitions that come, we have seen Okoa coming in, whatever, Jubilee ODM coming in. We don't know if that will be a coalition per se.
Yeah.
We are still waiting to see. As I said, in the next 6 months, you will see so many realignments.
A lot will happen.
Yes, so if those realignments come, I don't think anybody who wants to win the election will want to ignore the Kamba Nation votes. Yes.
All right, Patrick. Peter, sorry. It's quite just impossible to ignore the way he's putting it, the Kamba votes and Kalonzo Musyoka as a person.
Yeah.
He's been there with Raila Odinga all that through, and there is that notion that where you see Raila Odinga, you see Kalonzo Musyoka. Is it going to be so easy to divorce the two, gentlemen?
I don't think it's going to be that easy. But if you ask me, in growth portfolio, if Kalonzo wants to outgrow Raila Odinga, and also like having supported him for 2 times in Oloo, the time has come that probably that he needs to take a seat in the table of men, and probably he's felt like Raila Odinga now has an opportunity to also support a different person, because if you ask me, the last election he talked about having the last bullet, which he used in 2017. He wasn't even able to contest in the second time in 2017, and so therefore if Kalonzo Musyoka feels like probably he needs to use his first bullet in this business, then probably he has to do things differently. He has used and he has done them the same way. You cannot do things the same way and expect to have different results. So if you ask me, probably the time has come for him to test the waters. I have been seeing him warming to Uhuru Kenyatta. That is basically to maybe the current formation of the government, and probably he feels like he would want to work with a different coalition. Maybe he strongly feels in Okoa, Kenya, he starts the best chances. I don't know really if that is the case, but I have said it and I will still say it. Nobody will win alone. Basically, jolting from the coalitions, you're weakening the coalition, and basically weakening the chances of forming the next government. If they want to be in the form to form the next government, they must remain united. Not necessarily NASA, they can have a different formation. Whichever formation that is going to be there is a formation that is going to form the next government. And indeed, if they want to be that government, then he has to be in the right formation.
We've talked about Kalonzo Musyoka. What about Raila Odinga? If Kalonzo decides to quit NASA and say it's been nice, so you remain on your own, so what would be the fate of Raila Odinga, Honorable Raila Odinga?
Raila Odinga, as it is now, he is already looking for partners, and I don't think Raila Odinga, being the politician he is, will just sit back and think that he can make it alone to the throne. So I'm sure where he is, where Baba is right now, he must be organizing himself and looking around to make sure that he gets the right people to team up with to be able to win the election. That is, if he is going to be the presidential candidate for whatever coalition that is going to come up. So to me, I know, and the way I understand his politics, he is actually working and is talking to people, making sure that even maybe he's talking to Kalonzo. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But, you know, they say in politics there are no permanent enemies. So we could differ today, but tomorrow we are talking. So he is looking around, and chances are there for him, being the oldest politician that we have right now. He knows how Kenyan politics is supposed to be played.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And still on you, in just 1 minute, perhaps talk to people of Wemalabi constituency. You are the ward down there in Vihiga County.
Yes.
They elected you for the first time.
Yes.
And I know as politician, nobody can say that I'm not going to go for the next election.
Yeah, definitely.
In 1 minute, if you please.
Definitely I'll be going for re-election. And I'm confident that the people of Wemalabi ward have confidence in me. They'll be able to give me a second term. We have done so much in as far as development is concerned in that ward. Vihiga County is one of the smallest counties, but unfortunately, those of us who came in for the first time this second term, we found a lot of pending bills, and therefore most of the development funds were being used because Treasury now came in and insisted that pending bills have to be paid.
And that is one thing that has been affecting most of the counties.
Yes. So I want to say that we have struggled as a county, and we have been able to pay so much, a bigger chunk of the pending bills. And as we were struggling to pay the pending bills, we also struggled to do some developments here and there. So like in my ward, when I got in, I have 16 schools, and none of them had an ECD. So right now, as we are talking, we have done 12 of them. There is a water project that is being done by the Belgium government in my ward. And we are now beginning to distribute the water to the residents. We have done some water tanks, overhead water tanks, which we are going to use to distribute the water to the various residents. We have done roads. A majority of the roads are actually motorable, and I think if we happen to come back, then many things are going to improve in the ward. We have given out bursaries. Right now, we have kept on insisting that we need 100% transition of kids from primary to secondary, and we are trying our level best to give the little bursaries that we have to support the parents, who majority of them are very poor. So for the people of Wemalabi, I want to tell them that I love them so much, and I think they are going to re-elect me,
because they will still hold you to accountable, because it's about following up with the kind of manifesto you gave them during the election, and it's across the country. Most politicians tend to forget about their manifesto and get into so many things that they promised during elections. And perhaps, Peter, Roysambu is within Nairobi County, all right? How have you managed to impact them down there, apart from just looking at the Nairobi as a county, as a city and as a county?
I want to tell you this, Victor, that I want first and foremost to thank my people of Roysambu, who have actually elected me for like 10 years. The scorecard is out. I think, and I know for sure, that we are the best that there is, and that's why probably we get re-elected time and again. Number two, Roysambu is quite expansive. It's 22 square kilometers, and if you've ever walked to that particular world, it will tell you that it is the face of Nairobi. It's a gateway to the entry of this great city. We've worked quite well. The roads, as he has said, are quite motorable. I was able to, in fact, right from inception, I did a record 5 roads the last assembly. I've done another. I have done about 8. We've done schools. We've done writing, and I can tell you, by and large, we are the face of that particular world. I know for sure 2022 is coming. We will be going back to Wajiko, and I know, having been elected for 2 terms, we will do the hard decision of ensuring either we go back to where we were, or probably we advance to the next level. That again will be left to the people of Roysambu to decide, to see if probably they would want me again for that time as the MCA, or probably they would want me to advance to the status of becoming maybe the next member of parliament. That will be a decision that they are going to make, and the scorecard having been out, I know they will advise us accordingly. We remain focused and faithful and grateful that they have given us a chance to really serve them.
Gentlemen, I just have to stop it at that point.